Okay, let's see. We are not live yet. Hold on. Okay, and now we are live. Good evening, everybody. So here we go. Day 5. We made it all week with my self-care series. And so today I have my dear friend, Monica Dean. She is all the things when it comes to living like a Zen life. She is a yoga teacher and she is an oil guru, and she is my person that I'm like texting at 2:00 in the morning when you wake up with like a totally random deep thought and you're like, I need to process this, and I grab my phone and I'm like texting Monica and we're having late night weirdo geeky conversation. I love it. She's that person to me. So I'm so excited to have her on with us today. So I just want to say our original plan was we were going to talk about two things. We were going to talk about the yoga and the oils, but upon further discussion about it all yesterday, we decided we're actually going to break it up into two because we have so much to share with you guys when it comes to what she could teach you about yoga and beginning yoga and what yoga can do for your mind and body, and what she can teach you about essential oils, that we thought we're not going to try to cram this all into one. So today we are going to do the oils, and then next week I have Monica on to talk about just yoga for one call, and then I have other ladies coming on throughout the week to talk about health and wellness. So stay tuned for that schedule once I get it put together. So, Miss Monica, here you are. So I know I'm gonna try to, before I let you start talking, I'm gonna grab my phone because I got to see who's gonna hop on. I know that all kinds of people were excited because they said they had oil questions. So I want to make sure that I'm able to see the questions as they pop up as we get people on here. So let me do that. Okay, let me find us. And I'm also going to share you into my Busy Girl nail page. So let me do that. And if you want to share into your oil page, you guys can find Monica. Her business name is Inked in Oil on Facebook. And we'll make sure we put a link down for that too. In the
totally better. You can't even see any ink because of this.
Well, they're really awesome. They'll be able to see pictures of them when they go to your page, right? Don't you have? Right. Yeah. Got to check out the ink. It's very important to check that out. Okay. All right, Monica. So what are we gonna start with? There's like, it's like, where do you even start? There's so much goodness to share. I'm curious.
It's really hard, and you'll appreciate this with your note taking over there. I have 5 pages of notes to share with you. That was the trimmed down version. But what I really want to start with is that there's just, so it's funny to listen to you say, you're like, oh, the yoga and the oils, and like, like all that, like natural lifestyle, that calmness, whatever. Anybody watching this Facebook Live knows me or doesn't know me. I'm also the first person to threaten to stab you in the head with scissors or throat punch you. So, I mean, it's a balance, right? Like everything in life. But it's really a great approach to have things in your home that you can reach for anytime. And so when a lot of people think of, they hear essential oils, they hear yoga, I'm wearing a crystal right now. That is a very like hippie, mellow mentality. And it's not just about that. Up until the 40s, plant-based medicine was very, very real. Plant-based medicine is still very, very real. It's just in a different way. So I'm going to do my best to talk about this and be very compliant, because I can't be like, oh, this oil heals that, this oil, whatever. So I'll try to watch my terminology for you. Right. But essential oils are that. They are plant-based. They are steam distilled from all parts of plants, leaves, flowers, bark, rinds from citrus, stuff like that. And doTERRA specifically has processing plants, distilling plants all over the world. So I guess first I'll talk, when I refer to essential oil, I am strictly referring to doTERRA's essential oils. I can say wholeheartedly that I trust this company. I've been to 2 conventions that are right outside their center in Salt Lake City, Utah. They started, it's been 12 years now. They branched off and created their own company, and they work very hard, very diligently to make sure that their product is pure. And that's really important when you get down into the science of how the oils work, because you could have a certain oil that tested at the cellular level, it affects this thing and it supports this. And if you get an oil that's not pure, it either won't affect the cells in that way, or it could actually do the opposite. So if you have something that's supposed to have a positive effect on a cell and it has a constituent from another oil in it, it just totally sabotages what that oil is supposed to be doing. So your doTERRA bottles, if you look on the bottom, they have a number on the bottom. Oh, you can't see that probably, but they have a number on there, and you can go online and you can look up that batch number and it will tell you about the testing of that batch. And doTERRA is
that.
Yeah, I know most people don't look at the bottom of them.
No, I never knew that.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Okay,
so they're really transparent. I mean, they don't like try to hide anything, or anything like that. And we actually have right now the Deep Blue supplement, the Deep Blue capsules. They pulled because they did a test of a batch and they didn't like the results they had. So I mean, if they don't like what they see, they're not selling it to you. It's not like this.
Right. And I want to just attest to that, because I got to come to not a big convention with you. What would you call that I came with you? It was just a little micro. Yeah, the little convention tour, the little micro convention that I did with you. But yeah, so I just want to say, as a person who, isn't out there actively selling oils, that I can attest to how well organized and how impressive it was to go to that convention tour with you and listen to them speak and talk and educate me and all of the representatives they had there on the oil. So yeah, just
the founders are an amazing group of people. I mean, there were things that were happening in the essential oil world that they just didn't love, and I mean, they really went above and beyond, in my opinion, to create this company. And we actually were really fortunate. So we had an event get canceled a couple weeks ago, and we pulled together a little online event for people that were registered, and it was amazing. And we were super fortunate to have Emily Wright speak with us. And Emily is one of the founders, and she is the most beautiful human. She's just this beautiful soul. And she really focused on a point that was great. In 2008, when they started the company, they started it. The country was in a recession, and they were pulling money out of their 401ks and taking out mortgages on their house to start this company with, I think it was 5 oils to start with. My number might be wrong on that, but it's a very small number. And just really went out on a limb and said, we believe in this and we want to get this out there for people, and this is how we're going to do it. And so another thing that people think of is when they initially look at the website or the cost of the oils, as they get sticker shock. And what is important about that cost is the way that doTERRA processes the oil, the cost per use. I mean, if you take an entire bottle of oil, you're talking anywhere from 3 to 10 cents per drop. So the bottle might cost you $40, but it's not like a one and done thing. And the oils are very, very potent. So 1 drop goes a long way. My first oil on my list to tell you about is peppermint. It takes the same amount of peppermint in 1 drop. Like if you take your peppermint. I'm going to try to do this. Peppermint pours fast. So if you see, here it comes, ready?
Yep.
1 drop. Okay. That is the same amount of peppermint that is in 28 cups of peppermint tea. So if you're trying to get the benefits of peppermint oil, you'd have to sit and drink 28 cups. And I was gonna get cups out of my cabinet, and I was gonna line up 28, and I was like, I don't even have 28 cups. So I mean, that's intense. That's when you have a pure oil. That's how potent it is. When you buy things from Amazon, Walmart, essential oils are also becoming trendy. Can't guarantee the purity of that oil. Without the purity, you also lose the potency. And again, like I talked about, the way that it interacts with your body could end up being negative and stuff like that. So the oils that I selected today, and I really tried to narrow it down, but I tried to select oils that I thought were going to be beneficial based on things that people are probably experiencing right now. It's, we're in like, year 17 of quarantine. I don't know. I put mascara on. I was like, I don't remember how to do this. I hope this looks okay. I don't know.
So that was the best part about doing lives all week, was having a reason to do my hair and makeup. I mean, otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not sure the last time that this happened. It was probably, I know I went to work on Friday, March 13th. I don't know what I did that weekend, so it was somewhere around that time frame that I last represented an actual human being. Leaning towards, hobo lately. But yeah, so peppermint was the first one that I selected. And peppermint, the oils also have emotional properties, and peppermint is the oil of a buoyant heart. And I feel like right now everybody needs to be energized, and peppermint is great for that. It's very invigorating. It's really great for digestion. But there's also a lightness that comes with it. And I just feel like everything is feeling kind of dark right now and feeling kind of heavy. And so peppermint was the first one that I selected. If you go to a doTERRA event, upon walking in, you will usually find coupled with peppermint wild orange. And wild orange is another one of my favorites. It's the oil of abundance. It's and I just feel like right now, like, again, trying to put these oils together with their emotional properties, and I smell them like, here, smell my oil. You can't. But this one, I diffuse this a lot, and also I have certain oils that I keep on my desk at work. When I hit like a 2 p.m. crash, my favorite thing to do is 1 drop of peppermint. Trying to do this again. 1 drop of wild orange. That was 2. And just rub them together and smell it. And so you get the energizing from the peppermint, you get the uplifting from the orange. And I rub it, and I'll put it on the back of my neck with the excess, and then even like through your hair, right? So now you just became a walking diffuser. And the next time you have the permission to hug somebody without breathing on them and giving them a horrible disease, they'll be like, oh my God, your hair smells so amazing, because it's just the excess oil.
Never mix those two. I'm gonna do it right now. So you said peppermint and wild, right?
Yep. 1 of each.
Here we go.
That's like a trademark doTERRA. Like I said, as soon as you walk in, you'll smell those. People are pouring them in your hand. And citrus oils in general are very energizing, uplifting, all winter long in my diffusers. Citrus oils are.
Oh yeah, we always have going on around here. I never mix these two.
Oh yeah, that's a.
Oh my God.
It's a really great blend.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna go bath in this now.
Mm-hmm. That's a crazy one. I thought that I liked orange that much. But that is one of my favorite citrus oils.
Oh, I do. I have all my citrus oils. I have.
Right. I'm usually like lemon, lime.
Yeah.
Then I sometimes forget about orange, and then I'm like, oh. Orange.
I just got my lime today.
That's one of my go-to oils.
Yes.
So mints and citruses, they blend well together. Mints are energizing. There's peppermint, there's spearmint, wild orange, lemon, lime, grapefruit. Those are all like really great. Wake me up in the middle of the afternoon, or even when you get out of bed. If you get out of bed in the morning and you're just like not feeling awake, that's just something super easy, just 2 drops. And it just really changes everything. And there's 3 ways to get the benefits of oils, and aroma is one of them. Obviously, all we did was just rub it together and smell it. And so a neat little science tidbit, it takes 22 seconds for the oil particles to get from where you just put them on your hand up into your nose, into your brain, and interact with your brain cells. 22 seconds. So regardless of what you're feeling, whether you're needing energized or you need relaxed or whatever oil you're using for whatever purpose, that is the quickest way to get it into your body. If you put it on topically, it takes about 2 minutes for it to get into your system. By the end of 20 minutes, however you got that oil into your body, by the end of 20 minutes, it has touched every cell in your body. So that's how quick they are. And it's just amazing. Like, there's so much science. I love learning about that stuff. I'm always like, oh, like, science and medicine grosses me out, but it grosses me out when it's like body parts and blood and stuff like that. But like the way that it interacts we're so privileged. Like I said, doTERRA is so careful about how they process these, and I'll talk, more about the sourcing and stuff like that. But the team of scientists and doctors that they have is just exceptional. If anybody's interested, speaking of doctors, the doTERRA Facebook page does an almost daily, anywhere from like 5 to 10 minute video clip. It's with our chief medical officer. His name is Dr. Osgothorpe, and his specialty is actually in pediatric infectious diseases. So he just kind of like comes online and speaks a little bit and just kind of talks about like the state of what is happening right now, stuff like that. And so to have an infectious disease specialist working as our chief medical officer is just like, it's just so exceptional. And it's just kind of like reassuring too, because like I said, a lot of people are like, essential oils, that's weird, that's hippie shit, whatever. Yeah. There is science behind it, and I'll try to drop little tidbits of that.
Christy, I'm just going to say Christy has just commented. She wants you to reach out to her after with cost. She listed a little list of oils that have been recommended to her. And so she wants to talk to you about that. So I'm just going to look in the comments for that.
Yes.
After. Hey, Lauren. And Lauren says, hi.
Yay. Oh, Lauren.
That's Lauren, because I didn't want her to forget that we were on, because I knew she was excited to listen.
The next 2 oils in my list are lavender and tea tree, courtesy of Lauren. Not that I wasn't going to talk about them, but I was like trying to pull. So I'm trying to pull between, doTERRA does a lot with creating blends. And there are 2 that I selected for today, but it's also nice to have like just a basic oil, right? So it's like multi-purpose. You put it in your diffuser, you can put it in a capsule, you can use it topically instead of like, oh, this one only does this, whatever. So my next one is lavender. And lavender is very, very calming, very, very soothing. I feel like in my experience, I've had a ton of people that either love or hate lavender. And the reason primarily for that is, like I was saying about the purity of oil, there are over 100 chemical constituents that make up this oil. So you might go into Bath and Body Works and buy a pillow spray that's, their aromatherapy line, and it's to help you sleep, and it's lavender scented. They might pull 4 chemical constituents from actual lavender. So you have that smell. And then maybe you go someplace else and you buy lotion, and it's like like baby products, like calm babies down and all that. So you buy like Johnson & Johnson or whoever makes baby stuff, their lavender lotion, and it doesn't smell the same as your Bath and Body Works product. And then so you have like all these different lavender scented things, and none of them smell the same. Well, the reason they don't smell the same is because you're not getting 100% lavender oil in it, number one. And it also depends on where it's sourced from. And so this is like another thing that was super important to me when I learned about doTERRA, is that they have a process called co-impact sourcing. And what they do is there's over 130 oils in the line, and they source it from over 40 countries in the world. And about 50% of those countries are developing countries, right? So these are people that like, they're very, very poor. And what they do is they give these people opportunities because they want their product. So our lavender oil is sourced from Bulgaria. And because of the soil, I just spilled lavender on myself, because of the soil there and the way that the lavender grows, it has a distinct smell. You could probably grow lavender in your backyard and it would be really nice, but it's not going to smell the same. And so there are other companies that are like, oh, we're 100%, USA, our farm, we own our farms here and all that. And in theory, that sounds really great. but that'd be like also like orange, right? It doesn't really make sense for us in Pennsylvania to grow oranges in our backyard. But if you get an orange from Florida, that orange is like the most amazing orange you've ever had, right? So it's the same thing with essential oils. You want them to come from a place where they're indigenous. Lavender comes from Bulgaria, and it's a beautiful thing. So the co-impact sourcing, what doTERRA does is they say, okay, you're a lavender farmer, and we want lavender, and we are not going to purchase you as a farm, but we want to work with you, and we recognize. And Bulgaria is probably not the best example. Frankincense is a little bit better. Pink pepper. Frankincense comes from Somalia, very, very poor. doTERRA goes in, they build hospitals, they build schools, they give people opportunities to work where they otherwise wouldn't have opportunities. And a lot of times it's the women. The wintergreen source from Nepal, the women walk the fields on the cliffs, and they pick the wintergreen leaves and put them in the big basket on their back. So they're giving opportunity to people, educating people, helping them with their health care. And so that's a really beautiful thing. And another reason why it's like super great to support doTERRA. So lavender, you could do a bath. If you go, you can go to just the drugstore and get Epsom salts. I would recommend against getting any scented Epsom salts, because I have learned that you can buy lavender. You say, oh, lavender scented Epsom salts, this is going to be relaxing. And then as you read the ingredients, it says fragrance. That does not mean lavender oil. That means God only knows what. There's some shit chemical in there that you should not be inhaling or soaking your body in. So buy plain Epsom salt and put a couple drops of lavender in your bathtub, and that's a great way to relax. Put it on your pillow at night. You can even put it, I like to take my oils at night sometimes, and I sleep like with an arm up. So I put it like right here in my elbow, so that when my arm is up, it's like right here. I'm smelling this. Yeah. So lavender. And then when Lauren talked about it the other day, she was talking about it for hair, and it is really good spray in your hair, for a little bit of moisturizer. So you make a hairspray, do your leave-in conditioner, whatever, put a couple drops in there and put it in there. And again, not only is it helping nourish you, but now you're a walking diffuser. You're smelling that oil all the time, and it's right there. And so that's like really awesome too. Yeah. And with the lavender, she talked about the tea tree. It says most recently it said Melaleuca. That's its like scientific name, but they are changing the bottles to say tea tree. Most people know it by then. If you have never smelled this, it's like, I don't know. I have like a love-hate relationship with this. This is not an oil that I like to wear because it smells pretty. It smells clean. It smells medicinal. I like the smell of it, but I'm never like, when I smell it, I'm never like, oh, that smells good. Like that makes me, I don't know.
It kind of does. Let me say this. It smells good in the way that like rubber and gasoline smells.
Yes.
like, it's like the weird smell that you don't want to admit you actually like.
Right. Because I love
kind of the feeling I get.
Right. Yeah. If you smell it, you're like, I don't know. I don't think I should be smelling it.
It smells good, but it doesn't. Yeah.
Huffing oil. It's cool. So this is really great. It's very antiseptic, very antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. He'll probably kill me for telling this story, but my nephew, he was wrestling and having like athlete's foot and stuff like that. I made him a little spray, got him a spray bottle. I put lavender and tea tree in it because it kills, bacteria, fungus, and stuff like that. So he could spray his feet every night before bed, so his feet were gross. It's used a lot of times. It's used as an acne treatment. If you look at some like more natural things like that, it can be very drying. So aside from an oil, a little bit going a long way. If you put that on a pimple, I mean, it's going to dry the ever living crap out of that pretty quick. There was a neat study that I came across. It had been a study, and I don't know if I have the link or not. I have tons of links if anybody wants to read like some of these science articles and studies and stuff like that. But they compared tea tree oil with something called a phenol, which is used in household cleaners, disinfectant, mouthwash, stuff that kills germs, right? And tea tree oil had 12 times the antiseptic power of those phenols. So again, They're powerful. They can be used for things like cleaning. Adam decided that he wanted to clean the glass on the coal stove the other day. And my glass cleaner is homemade. It's made with white vinegar and lemon oil. And so he's spraying it, obviously smells the vinegar. And he's like, can I put this on my French fries? And I was like, well, you could. But it's nice to have, again, these little bottles that are so multi-purpose. You can make cleaners and, really like just support your household, support your system, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. And you don't have to make like a special trip. You don't have to go to a special store. You can get them by mail. They're in your house. And it's just really nice. Mm-hmm. So that's super cool too. I need drink. Do we have any more questions yet before I?
No, I'm looking. We're just, nope. You can keep on.
On my own time, 5:30. Woo, here we go. Okay. The next oil that I selected, I went back and forth on this one. This is a little more of a pricey oil and worth every penny. Frankincense. So Frank is one of my dear friends.
I love Frankie.
I love Frankie. And it took me a while to love Frankie because our other chief medical officer, who has since gone to work more in the field, and that's why we have Dr. Oz now, has a protocol. And the first step of the daily protocol of Dr. Hill is to take 1 drop of frankincense under your tongue every morning. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I love the smell of this. I diffuse it. I use frankincense all the time. So the first day I do this, I literally spit it back out immediately. And all I could think of is I'm choking on church. If you grew up in a Catholic church and they're flinging incense at you, it's frankincense. Yeah.
It's frankincense.
So I'm like gagging and I'm like, there's something very wrong with this right now.
We call it church in a bottle in our house.
Yes, it is. And the thing about that is that this oil is nicknamed the King of Oils. And frankincense has been traded for over 6,000 years for its medicinal purposes. From Bible stories, this is one of the 3 gifts that was given to baby Jesus. It was used in ancient Egypt. So was myrrh. So these are things that have existed for a long time, and people knew the power of them back then. And obviously presenting somebody with a gift of frankincense was a really big deal. It really helps with your cellular health. It is extremely anti-inflammatory, amazing for respiratory health. When I get sick, I do tend to get like respiratory infections. Frankincense is one of the first oils that goes on my chest. I have a close friend. She was diagnosed with walking pneumonia a couple years ago, and frankincense was one of the oils that she used to help settle that. So it's very powerful. It is a very beautiful oil. If you are into doing, prayer time or meditation time, I think that's why they use it in the church. It's very grounding, and it's really great for easing irritability and improving your concentration and helping you focus so you can have that prayer time and that meditation time. One of the stories with frankincense, this is a really cool example of the co-impact sourcing. I think it was 2 years ago when I was at convention, they interviewed the little man in Somaliland, and he had been gifted, I don't know if gift is the right word, they pass trees down, frankincense trees. So frankincense comes off the resin, off of the bark. And there's a very specific way to harvest it, just like any other tree. If you go too deep, if you cut too deep, you damage the tree, it never grows back. So they are skilled in how they need to get this bark off so that they can get this, it's like a sap, and it hardens, so that they can get this off for this frankincense oil. And what they do is they pass these trees down through generations. And I feel like he was like maybe the 6th generation or something like that, to have this like handful of trees. And in such a poor country, like it was such a big deal for his family, to pass these down, and for doTERRA to go in there and value that product and help the surrounding community and stuff like that. So that's frankincense, and that is like maybe like a $60 or $70 bottle of oil. Like it is a more expensive one. Like I said,
it lasts a really long time. I mean, I use this a lot.
I mean, like I said, mine daily.
Yeah, and it comes into
it comes in some of the kits. That's like a whole other conversation, but there are some of the kits that include they do like the 5 milliliter bottles, and there's a bottle of frankincense in there.
I'm gonna try to find it. Yeah, yeah. So there's like a little bottle and a big
Oh,
bottle.
the baby one.
Yeah. This one I blew through like quick, and then this one I so I recommend getting the big one.
Right.
Yeah.
My next oil, this one, I don't want to say that this one wasn't important. My reason for it being important is because of things that are trending. Like I said, essential oils in general are trendy. You can buy them at Whole Foods, you can buy them on Amazon, you can buy them just about anywhere, and that's a really scary thing. The next oil that I have is Copaiba. And Copaiba is incredible for anxiety and inflammation. The thing about Copaiba is that it is on trend with oils known as CBD. And I know this is like a super like trendy thing, right? CBD, everybody's like, oh, I got CBD oil and it really helped with the pain in my knee, or it really helped with like the inflammation that I was feeling here, or it helped with my headache, or it helped with whatever. And it probably did, but this comes back to one thing being that there are no standards on essential oils. And by there not being any standards, doTERRA actually created their own. So if you look on your bottle there's on the one part of the label, it says CPTG. And it's like at the bottom of the nutrition label if you've got one there. They created a standard, certified pure therapeutic grade, because there was no standard. And so like anybody could distill oil from anywhere and sell it. And that's why you get these like hodgepodge of oils with fragrance and fillers and junk. So yeah, there's your CPTG. So doTERRA was adamant that there was a standard and that they would hold their oils to that standard. That being said, CBD oil is not an essential oil. It comes from just one oil molecule. It's not a whole oil profile, but there's no regulation on that, right? You can go to Sheetz and buy CBD oil.
Right.
If I am buying oil where I get my MTO, I think this is probably not a good situation. And the way that CBD oil and THC and Copaiba interact with your brain is similar and different. So first of all, your body has this whole endocannabinoid system. And the endocannabinoid system is what keeps your body in homeostasis, right? So your body is normal. It has normal reactions to things. I mean, inflammation is dangerous, but you also have to have a healthy level of inflammation. Your body has to know when to be like, fight or flight. It has to be like, oh, this is bad, or, whatever. When you're constantly in that state of inflammation, that's where your disease comes from. So Copaiba and CBD both bind with CB2 receptors. CB1 receptors are where the THC binds, and that's what makes you get stoned, you get high, whatever that is. So it behaves the same as CBD, but if you have CBD oil, and I mean, like even if you have a good one, if it's like a 2 to 4% concentration, that's from a hemp plant. If you have from like the actual cannabis marijuana plant, that's a 5 to 35% concentration. What doTERRA has done with the Copaiba, it's a chemical constituent called beta-caryophyllene. And the beta-caryophyllene, because it's coming from 4 species of the Copaiba tree, is 60%. So you're literally more than double. If you're at the high end, if you're at 35% of a crap CBD, you're doubling the percentage of concentration of how that's going to affect. So when somebody says, like, oh, I want CBD oil, or whatever, I always recommend Copaiba. And what I actually do, this has like a really like earthy kind of woody aroma to it. And I love it. I don't love the taste of it. I was doing this one under my tongue for a while too. I tried it in my coffee. Like I couldn't do that.
I put this under my tongue.
Do you?
Yeah, I
my supplements.
I have the supplements too.
So I do my Copaiba supplements. I usually do one somewhere in the day, and I do one before bed. And like I said, it's good for inflammation as far as pain. It's good for anxiety. I mean, there's all the things that you hear about CBD, and I'm not saying that CBD doesn't work, because it does do those things. It does, if you have a good one, you know, that's even better, and it attaches to your CB2 receptors in your brain, and it definitely helps with those things. But this is just so much better because you're getting a higher concentration.
Let me ask you a question. So do you recommend, so if you have the supplements, because I do have them out in my kitchen, and you're taking those internally daily or whatever, what is your suggestion then with the oil, just for diffusing or using it?
You can both. You can diffuse it. I like it when I'm trying to like do something calming. I like it with lavender. I feel like it blends nice with lavender. I do use it topically. And when you're using an oil topically, you can do a lot of the oils. You can do what's called neat. You can use straight oil. Some of them do need to be cut with a carrier oil. They're hot oils. They're dangerous. One thing about using, it's usually fractionated coconut oil. Don't use that on your face. Again, that's a skincare lesson. But if you put an essential oil with fractionated coconut oil and you put it somewhere on your body, the fractionated coconut oil will hold it right there. So if you have pain in your knee and you take your copaiba oil and some fractionated coconut oil and you put it right on your knee, it's going to hold that right where you put that, right where that pain is, versus like your skin, you know, being a large organ and kind of like absorbing it, you know, and dispersing it. Right. Copaiba also will amplify the product, the way another oil works. So if you are using another oil for another cause and you layer it with copaiba, it will amplify the way that product interacts with your cells. Amazing. So it's a powerhouse oil. It's a good one to have. Like I said, I wasn't trying to not include it, but I just know that like people are real into CBD oil and stuff like that right now, and it's a better alternative. And again, with, you know, people being super anxious and stuff going on right now, that's a good one to have.
And I just, while we're on that subject, just want to interject, like in terms of cost, especially during this time, like everyone's being really conscious with their money and things like that. So because it's like Monica mentioned in the beginning of the call, like they're so concentrated and you can cut it with fractionated coconut oil, like buying a bottle of this and then buying like a $10 or $12 big thing of fractionated coconut oil and just mixing, like this goes such a long way. I mean, I use this all the time and it's still, I mean, I've probably had this bottle for over a year now and it's not even, you can see it in there, it's about halfway, but I use it a lot.
Bottles. Copaiba's not one of them, but I do have some bottles that like I'm still on my first bottle almost 3 years in.
Yeah, like it just goes such a long way. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that. Like if you're going to go check this out after we're done here, you know, you're looking at prices and you're thinking, you know, I mean, what is this, like 15 milliliters? Like it's like you're probably thinking what, but it does. It goes a really, really long way. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that.
I gotta shift a little bit. My kids going to sleep. I have 2 more oils left. So the next one that I have is On Guard. And this, I'm always like, if you ever buy one oil, if you only buy one oil, and then I'm like, who just buys one oil? Like, who does that? But if you only buy one oil, I guess I'm gonna recommend it be On Guard. Yeah. And there's like so much behind it. Again, this is another one that is like scientifically formulated to do amazing things. It smells spicy and warm.
Let's tell them what it really smells like.
What it really smells like.
It really smells like Dr. Pepper.
An ongoing list of these oils. And
this is one of the intelligent thoughts that I texted Monica at 2 a.m. one time, like 2 years ago. I was like, do you find that On Guard smells like Dr. Pepper?
Of course, like, get out of bed. And
like, yes, it does.
Oh my God, it does. So like 24 ingredients in Dr. Pepper. I'm like, which one of it? Is it clove? Is it cinnamon? What is in Dr. Pepper that's in On Guard?
It smells just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's but it does. It has a warm, spicy aroma, and it's because there's clove and cinnamon in there. It also has eucalyptus and rosemary and wild orange. And it's called, so if you look at blends from doTERRA, this one's called the Protective Blend. And it's because it just does everything it can to support your immune system, to protect your body. The one super cool thing about this oil in your immune system is that a lot of the oils that are antibacterial, antiviral, all that stuff that helps your body with germs, is that those oils work with your body. So when you have like an invader, that oil works with your body to create like the antibodies, or to like battle that. This oil is amazing for people with weaker immune systems, because this oil will help protect your body without your body having to help it. And I know, like, for me, that's a really big thing. I have an autoimmune disorder. So when I get a cut, when I get a sickness, it takes me longer to heal and to come back from it than the average person. So I currently have 5 bottles of On Guard. I just discovered.
This is probably the 6th bottle I've gone through.
They're literally all over my house. And this is another one that is safe for ingestion. I love it in hot tea because of that spicy flavor. I love it with just hot water. I'll do hot water, On Guard, and some honey. And it makes like a really nice beverage. I diffuse it. I have a bottle at work. I diffuse it at work all the time. I'm all about killing the germs around my desk. It's like, I don't know. It's just a really, really amazing oil. So if you're looking for nothing else but your own health and wellness as far as disease, On Guard is like your go-to oil.
My whole family, like, the second someone gets a little tickle in their throat, they're like, "Mom, where's the On Guard?" Like, because it just.
Yep. There are
families since we started using this has had a sore throat longer than a day, because we just start taking it and boom, it's gone.
And just knowing what a powerhouse it is, there are On Guard products. You can get supplements. You can get, they're called beadlets. They're a quarter drop of oil in a little teeny tiny thing, and it'll just like pop in your mouth, and you get the oil that way. There are cough drops. There's a toothpaste. There's a mouthwash. There's a hand soap. There's a hand sanitizer. There's laundry detergent, and there's a concentrated cleaner. So they just they knew what they were doing with this oil. They were like, this is like amazing. I have a graphic somewhere, and I can show it to you. It's a little bit hard to read if you zoom in on it. It's 4 petri dishes, and your first one is like your control petri dish is just like all full of bacteria, and then the other 3, one is Lysol, one is Clorox, and one is On Guard, with the same bacteria in it. And it shows like how much, obviously the bacteria is gone, and the On Guard petri dish is almost empty. And when you see how much is still left in the Lorax, okay, so like now we're doing the Lorax, he's a monster. The Clorox and the Lysol, that there is still bacteria left. And so like when everybody went hog wild and was like, I am buying Lysol, I am buying Clorox, I am spraying all the things, I got out my glass spray bottles and said, I am making more spray with On Guard, and I spray the doorknobs and I spray the counter, because I'm like, you keep your Lysol, I have On Guard.
So true. It's so true. Before we call it the Last Supper, before we got on lockdown, Monica and I and our husbands went for our Last Supper at Starwood, and it was so funny because we're sitting there spraying everybody with On Guard.
I made a hand sanitizer. I mean, there's like On Guard everywhere. But it is. I mean, it's a great oil, and it just smells so good. My last oil is actually a little line of oils, and this one was new this year. This one was introduced at Convention 2019, and the name of this oil is Adaptive. And what they do, so when you go to convention, they have a setup of literally every single essential oil, and you can go and you can smell them and you can sample them. And it's really neat because some of the oils are kind of expensive, and you start to get into like some of those, I don't want to call them weird ones, but like some of the lesser used ones. I have almost every single oil, and there's a handful that they're my go-to oils. I'm going to get this oil because I need it for this, and it works the best for this. And then I have this like weird one, or it's like a limited edition or whatever. So they told us about the Adaptive line, and I mean, like, we're like going wild. I mean, there's 30,000 people in this arena, and we're like freaking out because this line was developed specifically for anxiety. The oils that are in here, the way that they are combined, they smell amazing. It is the most soothing, calming smell. There's one of these at my desk. There is a roller ball in my purse all the time. And then I've been taking the supplement. I've been taking one at night. I used to take one in the morning, and that was when I was traveling to the office for work. I take one at night now because I have found that I wake up in the middle of the night having panic attacks. And so that's super scary. So if I take one of these at night, it seems to like keep me calmer through my sleep. The roller ball, there's a lot of oils that are available in what doTERRA calls Touch. It is a blend of the oil and fractionated coconut oil. You can also buy empty roller bottles and you can make your own. So for some people, that's a more practical use of buying a large bottle and diffusing, making your own products, whatever. I just really love to have this handy. And I will diffuse this. Like I said, I diffuse this frequently at work. The oils that are in this are wild orange, spearmint, lavender, copaiba, magnolia, rosemary, neroli, and sweet gum. Every single time I use this oil, I smell magnolia. Yeah. When I diffuse this at work, I have one coworker who will walk past my desk and ask me if I'm diffusing orange. He smells the orange out of it. I have another coworker who loves the smell of spearmint and can pick the spearmint out of it. So it's really neat, again, science-wise and emotional-wise, how your nose picks out different things. And there are some times where I will go stand in front of my box of oils and I'm like, I need an oil right now. I don't know what I need. And I'm drawn to one or another. And I actually have a story about that. And I have a book that tells you about why that happens and stuff like that. But so I don't know, it must be the magnolia that I need. And that's why I smell it. But some of the science behind this oil is that the magnolia oil that's in there, and you can also buy magnolia by itself, but magnolia has a really high concentration of linalool, and linalool is what makes it calming. That's what makes your brain just chill out. So there was a test. Linalool specifically requires the use of your olfactory system. So when you are inhaling this is like, that's the best way to get it, is to just breathe it right in and to smell it. The linalool concentration of this outperformed Valium. It calmed people down that much. There was another random double-blind placebo study. It showed that people that ingested linalool, which is also found in lavender, that's why lavender is so calming, one of the chemical constituents in that. But whether lavender or magnolia, when it was ingested, it was as effective as Ativan. And you're not getting the side effects, the drowsy, or an addiction or anything like that. Again, probably not compliant, so I probably shouldn't use those drug terms and stuff like that. Be careful who you share that information with. But it's just so amazing that, for some people like me, I like to have as many natural options as I can. I definitely believe in the 80-20 balance. There are some things that I just won't compromise. And I feel like I more than make up for that with the natural things that I have. So for me, I'm feeling anxious or whatever, I can use my adaptive and it works for me. And I love that. Some people, maybe take a lot of prescription medications and are trying to find ways to get off of them. Again, not a doctor. I can't say, oh, stop taking your Ativan, take this instead. But if you buy it, smell it. When you're feeling anxious or whatever, smell it. See if it helps you. See if it works. See if those things can help. And it's really nice because, again, you can have them all the time. You put them in your medicine cabinet, you buy a cute little box, you put them in a shelf, wherever you put them, they're always in your house. And I feel like there's nothing more empowering than you or your child or your significant other not feeling well and you being able to help them immediately. And so that's another, that's just really important and super beautiful thing about having the oils, the doTERRA products in your house. It also was tested as far as the way that it affects the brain. And I'm going to totally botch this when I try to say it. It's gamma aminobutyric acid, something like that. GABA for short. And it's a neurotransmitter in your brain, and it regulates the communication between your brain cells. The studies with adaptive showed where it regulated that communication. So your brain is firing, and it's yeah, we're chatting, we're communicating, we're in a good place. So that line is just that was incredible. It was really amazing to listen to them speak about that. And then when we went over to where you could smell all the oils, I had a whole setup for the adaptive products and the diffusers going. And I mean, it was just like walking into like a spa or something. And like, but before you even had a service, you know, you're just like, you felt calm and relaxed and everything. It's one of my favorite oils. Obviously, I can't stop talking about it. So one last, I guess I don't want to call it a product, but earlier this week, if you were watching, there was a segment on skincare and there was a segment on hair care. And so what I want to bring to that is that a lot of these oils are amazing for those things. You can use Melaleuca in your scalp. It's great to help if you have like, you know, like dandruffy hair, dry scalp, whatever. Frankincense, geranium, lavender. I didn't talk about yarrow palm, but that's another one. All really, really great for skincare, anti-aging. I mean, who doesn't want to not have wrinkles, right? So there are so many great ways to topically address skin, hair, nails. But a lot of that also comes internally. And I would not be able to live with myself if I didn't discuss this product. And I'm going to discuss this product also because comically, I got this product when I enrolled. I got this product free. A lot of times when you enroll, there's doTERRA always says like a 10% off an item. If you spend so much, there's a free item of the month. There's always like some really cool incentives. So when I signed up, it's been almost 3 years now, that I was going to try to like change my life with essential oils. I got the LLV for short, Lifelong Vitality Pack. I got this free. This is like, I think, I don't know, it retails for like $80 or $90, something like that. And it sat in my cabinet for 6 months. I was like, oh, cool, I got some vitamins, whatever. And even though I was using oils and I was trying to use them to support my system and to get healthier and stuff like that, I was still getting sick. And like, I'm telling you, I will get like a sinus infection and bronchitis, and it does not leave me for weeks. It's terrible. So like one day I have this epiphany and I'm like, oh, why do I try taking vitamins? I have a whole set. And when you buy the 3-pack, so there's 3 bottles that come in this box. They are right here. When you buy them, there's a disclaimer on the side and it says just 30 days to change your life guaranteed. So if you buy this and you take it for 30 days, this is a 30-day supply. You take it for 30 days and you don't feel different, you're not satisfied, doTERRA will refund your money. They are that sure that this needs to be in your life. And I, at this point, will not argue that because I can tell when I don't take my vitamins. And one of the biggest benefits I see with the vitamins, I've never really had issues with my hair growing, obviously, but I notice it with my energy level. Having issues with my thyroid, I crap out pretty quick. And I can tell if I take my vitamins that I don't feel that way. And so this is also not for the faint of heart. A full dose of vitamins is 4 of each pill a day. And some of these mofos are big pills. So I usually do 2 at breakfast and 2 at lunch. And then in the evening, I have like another onslaught of pills that I take. But the 3 that are in here, one of them is just called Microplex VNZ. It's a food nutrient complex. There's that one. I don't know if you can see that one. Again, a whole serving of this is 4, which they're big. These are big. I hate these ones the most. I don't know if you can see them. There he is. Yeah, they're big. But if you take your 4 a day, it is the equivalent of 12 servings of fruits and veggies, whole food supplement. And that's really important because even if you're somebody, and again, like what I said, right, 80-20 balance. I love to be healthy. I love yoga. I also ate Oreos in my bed last night. Double stuff Oreos. Okay. What was it last week? Last week it was Sour Patch Kids. Okay. So let's be real. Sometimes I eat garbage. I like garbage, whatever. If you're a person who's like, oh, I don't do that, Godspeed. But you still can't really get all of that because our food is so like not nutrient dense anymore. So you almost have to supplement. And so best thing you can do for yourself is to find a quality supplement. If you go to, you know, GNC and maybe buy like a whole, you know, like a daily supplement or whatever, you're getting about 9% absorption from that. If you take your LLV, doTERRA says it's about a 90%. So that's huge, right? And you're also getting, because it's whole food supplement, there's no chemicals, there's no fillers. Your body doesn't have to work hard to digest it and absorb it. It just takes the nutrients. It's what it's meant to do. It's food. So that's the first one in that. The second one is the Z Omegas. This is fish oil, basically. Your omega-3, 6, and 9. Omega-3 is super important for brain health. Most of the time, people don't like to take fish oil, and they say, oh, I take fish oil, and I burp it up, and it tastes like fish. That's because your body can't absorb it. Oil and water, right? Your body's made up of a lot of water, and you're putting fish oil in, your body can't absorb it. So this is actually blended with some essential oils to help with digestion, and then also has the fish oil in it. These are smaller. I don't mind taking these. These are actually my favorite ones to take. I think just because of the way they look, they're just like these little dark red. Let me see if you can see them there. Yeah. I don't know. They smell like, they have cumin in them. They smell like tacos to me. I don't know, whatever. Usually if I burp that up, I burp it up.
Hey, that's a reason for me to take them.
I'm like, oh, I burped up tacos. I didn't need to.
I'm not a person that refuses anything that tastes like tacos.
Right, exactly. This is the taco vitamin. Take this one.
I'll take that.
And so when the essential oils are in there with that blend, it helps it get to your cells so that you can absorb it. Your cells can use it. You get you know, all the benefits of it, and you don't burp up gross fish. And the third one is the Alpha CRS Plus. CRS stands for Cellular Renewal System. This is antioxidants. So your cellular health, your mitochondrial support, you know, your body is, I listened to somebody speak recently, your body, as it's aging, it's oxidizing from the inside out, right? We're just getting older and dying, and your body is oxidizing. Using antioxidants helps prevent that process. So you want to support your body and your cells and take something that helps that. doTERRA also offers a line of children's vitamins, and they're geared towards children because of the way that you take them. But if you can't swallow the big pills, there's nothing wrong with, as an adult, taking those vitamins. I mean, you're still getting, you know, really good supplements. Some people, and when you buy the LLV as a whole system, obviously, like, you know, it's like buying in bulk, you get it a little bit at a discounted rate. They allow you to tack on 2 more supplements at an additional discounted rate. That was hard to say. Every month I buy LLV, and I buy Terrazyme, and I buy PB Assist. Terrazyme helps you digest your food. These are amazing. I usually take 1 per meal. If I've eaten something that's like super carb heavy, or Thanksgiving dinner, I will take 2, maybe 3. We watched a demonstration, and I almost did it today, except I don't have anything to do it. They look like a powder in a capsule. You can see it. And so one of the events that I went to, there was a table set up talking about this. And what they did is they took the little lunch pudding cups, and they had them sitting side by side, and they busted open one of these capsules and put it into the pudding cup, and then left the other one just like in its like gelatinous state. And putting the Terrazyme into the pudding, it liquefied the pudding. So the enzymes in there do the same thing in your stomach. They help you break down your food and digest it. So like if you eat, like I said, something carb heavy and you're in literally in a carb coma, I always take these because it helps you digest your food. Also, you know, digesting it makes you able to absorb it better. But super important, super helpful, so that you can, you know, not feel like that long when you
again, because I feel like
Terrazyme. It's in your text messages. Terrazyme and PB Assist.
Oh,
This is the probiotic.
Okay.
And probiotics are so important. Again, that's like a buzzword. That's like a trend thing, and I hate that, but they are important. And gut health is completely associated with the state of your brain. People get brain fog, you know, whatever. If you have food allergies and food intolerances, you have to be careful what you eat. Gluten-free, that's like a whole other conversation right there. Gluten-free is not necessarily bad if you don't have an intolerance or an allergy, but the balance of that gut bacteria is so important. The really, really amazing thing about doTERRA's probiotic is that it's in a double capsule, so that when you take this, your stomach acid doesn't break it down and the probiotic is in your stomach. It passes through your stomach and gets into your intestines so that you get that healthy gut bacteria.
Nice.
And a lot of people, there's a lot of studies that an imbalance in the gut, aside from causing brain fog, that it presents itself as bad skin. So if you are feeling like your skin is breaking out a lot and it's not like hormonal, and you can only do so much topically, like I said with the vitamins, you have to settle it from the inside also, and you really want to start with your gut.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very interesting. We have a question. Lauren asks, hold on, I have to find it. I know you said this in the beginning, maybe Lauren dropped in late, but maybe she wants more info on this. She wants recommendations for grapefruit oil. And it's funny that Lauren asked this, because just the other night, Lauren and I were Zooming, just the two of us, just to like talk and Zoom. And we were having like a show and tell session of like all like the health, like the vitamins and the oils and like just the things that we do to keep ourselves healthy. We were just geeking out totally about it. And Lauren was telling me how her and her husband are like big on like the grapefruit oil, like they love it. So do you want to give her some other things that she can maybe do with grapefruit?
So I don't know what she's doing right now. I have come to love grapefruit oil. Again, let me go back to what I say when I say essential oils. I specifically mean doTERRA essential oils, and most of them come with the supplemental fact label on them because they are ingestible. There are a few that for certain reasons are not, and that's okay. That's just an easy rule of thumb to follow. Like if you're like, I don't know if I can take this internally or not, look at the label.
So wait, where did it say it?
Right where your finger is. I just pointed at my screen, like you can see me pointing. It says supplemental facts. It's like a food label. Like you're looking for calories and ingredients and all that. If your essential oil has that label on it, then you can take it. It's like a food. So grapefruit oil is one of my favorites to flavor things with. I will put a drop of that in water and just drink it. It is really good for diffusing, again, because that one's an uplifting. I really like grapefruit and spearmint. I like that combination in my diffuser. With the citrus oils, assuming that we get sunshine sometime, I will warn you that they do not belong on your skin in the sun. You will get a burn. So don't put grapefruit oil, orange, lemon, don't put any of that shit on your skin and go out and be like, oh, I'm going to get a tan today, because you're going to burn and you're going to have a sad time. So don't do that. But if you're going to put it in a beverage, citrus oils especially are incredible in beverages. They are very cleansing. I usually prefer lemon. I am totally guilty of making a what I like to consider healthy margarita. I do tequila, water, and lime oil. Okay, so I'm like, I'm good, right? I am very healthy with my margarita. There's no sugar in here, whatever. But you have to make sure that you put it in either a stainless steel or a glass container. Do not put it in plastic. I'm not a fan of plastic anyway. I like freak out about plastic. That's another fun story that I can tell some other time. But the oils will break down the plastic, and the last thing you want is that plastic, which is why I don't use plastic anyway, but ingesting those chemicals. Yeah. So you put it, if you have a stainless steel water bottle, with their Terra bottle, or you have, a glass bottle, just a regular drinking glass, something like that. Grapefruit is supposed to help curb your appetite. If you're getting like sugar cravings or, mid-afternoon munchies or whatever, grapefruit oil is good for that too.
I love that. We're a fan of grapefruits just in general. at
Mhm.
this house. And John and I'll split one in the morning or at night. So it's like awesome that like you could just, if you can't, like if you're out of grapefruit or like, because we eat it for that reason, it always curbs our appetite. Like when
Mhm.
John and I, you know how we are on and off keto, like we do like 30 days on and then we take a break from it and then we hop back on it again when we need like a boost. So sometimes when we're off of keto, we kind of slack on our grapefruit intake, but this is so great to have around because like Monica said, just like a little splash of it in your water and it just, you know, kind of gives you that curbs your appetite. Yeah. So grapefruit, that was a good question, Lauren. Let's see. I think that's it.
Okay.
On questions. Yeah. Let me think if I have any questions for you though. Before I let you, not that I never talk to you, but not that we aren't like this all day long. But
my recommendation to anybody that, especially if this is like completely new information, it's funny, like there's just a conundrum with oils. They can be so complicated and they can be so simple. I have this little guide that I like to share with people. It's literally called Top 10 Essential Oils. And you can buy a kit that is like this, Top 10. It has these 10 oils in it, and there's a reason they're the top 10. There's a lot of blends that I use. You know, there's Serenity, there's Balance. I love those blends. They're great. But I mean, you can completely keep it simple and buy these oils that are multi-purpose, and you know, you can make your own blends, whatever. My recommendations are, don't skip out on the diffuser. I totally did that. I didn't have a diffuser for months. I was like, well, I mean, like I'm just gonna make, you know, roller balls and I don't know what I thought I was gonna do. I have no idea. But I ended up buying a diffuser and I was like, I can't believe I didn't have one of these. So like I literally have one on my desk at work. There's one beside my bed. There's one in the living room. There's one on my desk at home, and there's one in the bathroom. There's always a diffuser going somewhere. It is, first of all, the easiest way to aromatically consume that oil.
yeah.
And I love creating different diffuser blends, like whatever suits your mood, whatever makes the house, you know, sometimes you want the house to smell cinnamony and spicy. Sometimes you want it to smell citrusy and uplifting. Like you just do whatever you want yourself. So don't skip out on the diffuser. That is like a really important thing.
Yeah, I love
totally new and you're like, oh my God, I really want essential oils and I don't know what I want or why I want them. I just know that I want them. Make yourself a list and make it a very small list. Pick like three things that like 3 goals. You know, maybe you want more energy. Maybe you want to curb your appetite. Maybe you need to be more relaxed. Maybe you want to reduce toxic load in your home, whether it's cleaning products, beauty products, you know, toothpaste, deodorant, whatever. Figure out what you want and how you want to start so that you don't get overwhelmed and be like, well, now I have, because I've had people do that and, you know, they'll like buy the 10 oils and they just sit and they're like, well, I don't really know what I want to do with them. Well, let's figure that out. So if you start with figuring that out and say like, okay, I want to address these 3 things, and then it just snowballs from there. Then you're like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this too.
Yeah, I love that. That's really great advice because I feel like I was the same way when I started using the essential oils. I knew I wanted them, and I'm like, I don't know who's gonna order first. So like, it was great having like a starting place. And now I'm almost embarrassed to show everybody how much.
I mean, I didn't bring mine. I brought only what I was talking about because I was like, I'm not reaching for anything else. Anybody see that?
My husband calls me the witch doctor. Like if he has any ailment, any little thing, he's like, where's the witch doctor? But he does seek me out because he is now like a total believer in essential oils because I have cured, I use the word cured lately.
Right.
I'm not a doctor either, but like I've cured him so many times. Like if he had indigestion, if he was feeling like nauseous after dinner, and I'm like rubbing Digestin on his chest or something, and then he feels better, or giving him like a peppermint droplet or something, and so like now like they like seek out the oils, like they come at me. So speaking of that, Lauren also wants to know if there's an oil that you recommend for painful monthly cramps. If I may take a stab.
Oh yes.
If I may take a stab. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
The I'm learning.
Roller blend. Do you have the Clary Calm?
I don't have the roller. No, I just have. So
Okay.
Lauren, Clary Sage.
Clary Sage is for hormonal support. So this turns into, do I want Clary Sage for other reasons, or am I okay with buying a blend? And it's a roller ball like this that they sell, and it is called Clary Calm, and that's literally the only time I use it. Once a month, that sucker comes out of the box for cramps.
Yeah, I do. I always rub it on the girls' tummy.
Yeah,
they're having cramps, like, so they actually seek this out from me also. So that's how I knew.
But that is
it does work. Yeah.
And one thing that I have found, so one of my favorite things, I keep saying that, one of my favorite things, I have all these favorite things about essential oils and doTERRA supplements, is that I used to have really bad cramps and really bad migraines. And by taking the LOV, and then I only substitute once a month. There's a women's line, and there are 2 supplements and also the Clary Calm roller. One of the supplement is for bones, which we should all be taking, because after 30 you start losing that bone density and you need the calcium. And I have it, and it sits in my cabinet, so shame on me. But there's another supplement, I think it's called like Phyto Essentials or something like that. I have to go get it to give you the specific name. I take that just like the week of, like some people will take it all the time as a supplement. I take it the week of, and it has really helped with my cramps and my migraines. I might get like one day of a headache instead of a hormonal migraine taking me out for 3 days. So again, from the inside out, taking the supplements, using the oils.
Right.
And
I think about migraines, I just want to interject if anybody is wondering, like, people say put the lavender, the peppermint on your temples, but I have found, because I do suffer from migraines as well, if I get them really bad, that frankincense under the tongue has really like helped me often, I will say, like if I have really bad ones.
With the so I use my Copaiba soft gels almost as a Tylenol or an Advil, pain relief. I will also do frankincense under the tongue, and I'll put Copaiba on my thumb and press it under the roof of my mouth.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I have heard other stories of people with what do I want to call them? Regular migraines? I don't know what they're called. It's not a hormone. It's not like a woman with a hormonal migraine. Something. Where using several drops of Copaiba within 10 minutes will take that away. Also, one of my favorite stories, one of my favorites again, but one of my favorite stories about essential oils is my dad and peppermint. And I don't know if he's watching this live or not, but he's a little bit of a jokester, if you know David P.
Oh, yes.
He likes to razz you a little bit. And so he gets headaches, neck pain, and bad headaches, and they make him a very grumpy man. So he's joking with me one day, do I have anything in my bag of tricks for a headache? And I was picking my mom up, we were going somewhere, and I gave him peppermint oil. And I said, put it on your temples, put it on the back of your head, wherever you're feeling that pain and tension. And he would take like 500, 800 milligram Motrins to curb his headache. And now he uses peppermint for it. So at some point, you will find a very specific oil, and you will have what I call the aha moment. For my dad, it was peppermint. For somebody else, I know it was deep blue with some pain that they were experiencing. Everybody has like this moment where you're like, yeah. And I mean, like we do it too, like amongst like the essential oils groups that I'm in, like all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this worked. And it's like, well, of course it worked, but like, we're still stunned that it worked.
Right.
So you'll totally have that. And it's not that like none of the other ones work, but there will be like this turning point where you're like, wow, like this is amazing. Sometimes it's, people with sleep. So
let's talk real quick. You triggered a memory in my brain when you said bag of tricks and deep blue. Last year we were all in Disney, and when I say we were all in Disney, Monica was in Disney with us, and she was like sharing a hotel room with us. It was like we were all in Disney, right? Like we were there to like do Disney, so we all just like shared a hotel room and slept and spent all day in the parks. And when I say all day, like we were up early and we didn't come home until the fireworks were over. Like, And so we're all laying there, and even though we had our shoes and our socks and whatnot, and I was burnt. First of all, I got that Florida sun got me good. I I real good. It was April. We were there. I was burnt, and our feet were hurting, and I don't know. It was like our third or fourth night there. I don't know. I remember laying in the hotel room on the bed, and we were just all like, "Oh, we hurt." And here comes Monica. She's like passing over lavender oil for my sunburn and deep blue to rub on our feet. And we were
like a traveling witch.
She was. She was like, I think of that every time, like just rubbing that like deep blue lotion on her feet. It felt so good. I mean, it was literally like heaven had come down into our room and like saved us with oils, and we were like ready to go back at it the next day. I mean, even my sunburn, like that lavender, I'll never forget you making put lavender on my sunburn. I mean, it was like I was so sunburnt because we spent a couple days at Daytona Beach before we went to Disney. So I literally laid and cooked myself on the beach for 2 or 3 days before we went.
You were walking around Disney in a sweater.
It was like a 2-week, it was like a 2-week long vacation. I literally, for the first week of it, I wore a sweater. Wait, do you remember this, Monica? I not only wore my cardigan, but I was so afraid I was going to get burnt more that I pulled it together with a hair tie. Yes. I didn't have a pin. I had like a hair tie like this on my sweater. I was so burnt. And you guys, she came and saved me with her bag of tricks with that lavender oil. It felt so good on that sunburn, and like I was ready to go the next day. So just a funny little story of how Monica and her bag of tricks is there to help. So yeah, it's just a testimony to why you should have like essential oils on hand. I'm just gonna show you guys just because it's funny. This is just as a person who just has a friend who sells oils. And it all started with me buying just a couple bottles of them. I actually took the drawer out of my nightstand. I'm gonna dump them all, but do you guys see this?
That's amazing.
That's not my collection. So that's why I'm the witch doctor of the Cassano family now. But I'm learning. Like I was so like you learn as you go. It's like it's definitely I always talk about people developing skills, and I think learning your oils is a skill, a very valuable skill.
It is.
You can acquire because you can help your family immediately with little home remedies, and
right.
If there's something that's more serious and you need to seek medical attention, obviously they're going to replace that. But there are definitely things that will help you get through and lift your mood and change.
Yeah, and they were like there's vitamins, and there's also an entire line that's for kids. And I probably should have talked about it for anybody watching that has little ones. There are 5 or 6 oils. They added another one. They are color coded. There are pictures. So there's flashcards that come with it. So if you have a little one that can't even read yet, they know the color yellow and they know they're feeling a certain way. So it teaches them, it empowers them at such a young age to know that like, I feel this way and I can help myself, whether it's an upset belly or, they need to calm down to go to bed or they're doing their homework or whatever it is. So there's tons of stuff. Like I said, I'll link my Facebook page. Anybody can reach out to me. I could talk about oils for days. I mean, we could not even scratch the surface. I will lose my voice before, we do that.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Monica, thank you so much for coming on here today. And I just want to, because I keep seeing your nails flashing, can you let me see your mermaid nails on? Yes, mermaid nails. So, and I just also, for my girls that are watching and tuned, because it's Friday, I just want to say, if you guys watched my live on Monday, you know that I did like a little side-by-side comparison. I did Color Street on one hand and Liquid Polish on the other. So I just want to, while we're talking about that, I just want to show you guys what the outcome of that was. So here's my Color Street hand, still looking like new, perfect, and amazing. And over the course of this week, Okay, so first of all, this one was driving me nuts. Sophia opened up a pack of Belgian Buttercup, and I was like, give me one of those, and I replaced the painted one. So this one, I ended up replacing the painted one because it was driving me crazy. It was so chipped off. And then I also ended up replacing, so now this both has color straight, but the ones that I left with polish on were these three right here. And I just want to show you guys, where's my camera? This one is like gone. There's like no nail polish left on my pointer whatsoever, like none. This one is like all chipped off. And this one, there's nothing left on the top. It looks like I have a French tip on. So I just want to show everybody my little experiment what happened there. And now that I've revealed to you after 5 days what happened, I'm totally going and putting color straight on all of these hands, like all of these fingers. I can't take it anymore. But I couldn't help but notice your little mermaid fingers as you were going. It was so cute. I love it. I love it. All right. So, guys, thanks for listening in today. It was so much fun talking oil with you guys because it's something I love and Monica loves, and we just love to talk about it. So, we're going to link you guys to her page so that you know how to get in touch with her if you have any questions for her. Christy, I'll get you in touch with Monica. Lauren, you know how to get in touch with Monica. And anybody else that wants to, just feel free to reach out to her. Obviously, Monica is amazing, as you just saw today. So I'm so happy to have shared you guys with her. That's it. So we'll see you around, guys. All right.
Yoga next week.
Yes. Yoga next week. That's right. So don't forget, I'll put the schedule up. I'm just going to talk to a few more people that I'm going to have coming on, and then we'll figure out what the day is and the time that everybody's coming on. So I'll for sure let you guys know when you can catch Monica next week. Put your yoga pants on because Monica's going to have some yoga poses that we can do at home to feel good about ourselves while we're diffusing our oils. We can do some yoga while we're diffusing. Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.